If you're tired of being strong and just want to be okay again, this is how I pick myself up every time I am sad without forcing happiness. If we have not met, hi there, my name is Onge. My channel is all about self love, self care, self improvement, and I love walking in this journey with you. Today, if you are feeling sad, a bit heavy, here's how I usually pick myself up every time, and I suggest you do the same. So let's dive right in. The first thing that I do is I stay away from social media. Have you ever logged on to TikTok after a breakup and the first or the second video that you see is something like, if he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to be with you, he would be with you right now. If he loved you, he would do A, B, C, and you feel validated. But the more you go on that rabbit hole, the more you see more things that are going to make you angry and make you realize that this person really did not love you, when what you need is to stay away from social media and heal in peace. So stay away from social media and understand that all the energies of people around the world is going to affect you. So when you're feeling heavy or sad, the best thing you can do for yourself is stay away from social media and preserve your energy as much as you can. Remind yourself that your energy is expensive and your energy is precious, and you're going to do whatever it takes to protect your energy. Okay, the second thing that I love doing is journaling. Honestly, I journal even if I'm not feeling heavy. I love journaling so much. But when I'm heavy or sad, what I do is I ask myself, why do I feel like this? And I write it down. Who are the triggers, or what triggered me to feel like this? And then I write it down. What can I do if this same situation happens, or how did I react to this situation, and how could I have reacted better? I write it down. If I am angry, who am I angry at, and why am I angry at this person? Can I maybe write a letter that I'm not going to send to them? I write down all my feelings and get all of that anger out of my system, or all of that sadness out of my system, right? So journal, write it down, write why are you feeling like that, why were you triggered by that, what can you do differently next time. I love this because we're not pretending like we're fine when we're not, but instead we are acknowledging our feelings. And every time you acknowledge your feelings, you are telling yourself that you matter. You are allowing the emotions to move around your body, because when you keep something inside, like anger, it will come back as resentment, and that will block you from moving forward. So write down, journal about everything that you are feeling. Okay. And then another one that I really love is I take care of my body. So I go to the gym, and I don't have to do something that is heavy if I'm feeling sad. I can do something like boxing, I can do yoga, whatever that I feel like is going to help me to be in this moment. Because most of the times when you're feeling sad or heavy, it is because you are not anchored into this right moment. So ask yourself, what is something that I can do that is going to force me to be in this moment? Even lifting weights for me helps me to be in the moment, because I sweat and I have to count my reps. And when it's really heavy, even weightlifting for me helps me to be in the moment, because when I'm lifting weights, I have to count my reps, I have to focus, and I just play nice motivational music and then I focus on that. Or boxing, I love it so much to get anger out of my system, and I just punch that bag as much as I can. Or yoga for me is really nice, because in yoga, that is where I learned that I don't have to be perfect. I just have to embrace this moment. Even if I fall, even if I lose balance, that is really my happy place. So ask yourself, what is something that I can do right now to anchor myself into this moment. Also, running really helps. When you're running and you're out of breath, that helps you to distract you from your negative emotions and focus on trying to catch your breath right now. And if you have a lot of anger when you are running, you might find yourself crying, and if that happens, that is okay. I just hope that you are running in a place that is safe, where you can be able to express your emotions and scream as much as you can. And also, what I tend to do is to make sure that I drink my 2 liters of water. I always have a bottle next to me that is going to remind me to drink water. And I've also noticed that when I'm sad, I usually want to go for sugar. I want to go for junk food. So what I do is force myself to have a healthier meal, maybe a smoothie with protein, or maybe a steak. I just make sure that I fill my body with food that is nutritious, so that if I want to reach for a chocolate at a later stage, I don't feel guilty, because I know that I've at least fueled my body with something that is good for me. Because when you want sugar, it is not that there's something wrong with us. We're just craving something that is going to pick us up, because what sugar does is it heightens our mood immediately, even though we'll have a crash after a few minutes, right? And then also, what I do is I spend time with myself and I pray. And when I'm sad, usually my prayer is not structured, it is messy, it is a bit chaotic. I speak to God like I'm speaking to a physical person, and I say everything that is on my mind. If I'm tired, I say, God, I'm so tired because of this situation, and I've tried this and it didn't work. And another thing that I really love is I watch sermons on YouTube. There's a sermon that I really loved recently by Robert Madu. I love him so much. That sermon was about Job, the story of Job, where we get to understand that you don't get blessed just because you are a good person, and it doesn't mean that because you're a good person, bad things are not going to happen to you. So it's a reminder that when you're going through something that is difficult, something that is sad, something that is hurting you, just know that it does not mean that you are a bad person. It just means that it's your story. It has to happen like that. And you just need to know that God is with you. God will never leave you. God knows what is happening to you. So I love the story of Job. It is one of my favorite verses in the Bible. And for me, when I'm going through something that is heavy or difficult and I remember the story of Job, I remember that God is going to restore everything that I have lost, and even more than what I have endured. And I just have to be patient in that season and know that I will have my happy ending. So if you are a Christian, I would advise you to read the book of Job on the Bible. And then the last thing that I do is I remind myself that every time I am misaligned to who I am only hurting myself. So even if I feel justified to be angry, even if I feel justified to be sad, even if I feel justified to be a victim, I remind myself that that is not who I am. That is not my that is not who I am. Who I am is love. And I tell myself that I am going to try my best as much as I can to return to who I am, and that is love. I am pure love. I come from pure love, and all these other things that are distracting and that make me feel sad, they are just misaligning me. So I try as much as I can to go back to my alignment. But when I'm doing this process, I become kind to myself. I know that I can never move from depression to excitement. I allow the stages of emotions to pass. So I ask myself, what emotion am I feeling right now? And how can I move to a better state? And I remind myself that all my thoughts are energy. right? So I ask myself, what am I thinking about? And this thought that I'm thinking about right now, is it helping me to feel better, or is it helping me, or is it making things worse? I think for many of us, especially the introverts, you find yourself fighting in your head with someone that you have fought with maybe a week ago, and you're thinking of how you want to insult them, what you want to say them, how you want to clap back, and that thing has passed. But what you're doing is you're just hurting yourself, and you're just revising thoughts that are not helpful to you. So I remind myself that my thoughts are energy, and I try as much as I can to think positive thoughts, and I watch things that are positive, things that are light-hearted, to remind myself that I don't have to stay stuck in that sadness or in that heaviness. And another thing that I really love, the last thing, is I love listening to affirmations. For me, affirmations also help me to anchor myself into the present. I do find myself thinking of something else after a few minutes, but when I listen to affirmations and then I repeat those affirmations either out loud or in my head, I find that helps me also to be anchored, and it reminds me of who I am, that I am blessed, I get to be grateful, I am loved, I have always been loved, I will always be loved, and that I am safe in this moment. So it is okay for me to let go of something that does not serve me anymore. It is okay for me to surrender to God. It is okay for me to allow these negative emotions to pass, and then I go back to who I am, which is love, and who I come from, which is pure love. Okay, so I hope this helps. And if you are sad, or if you're feeling heavy right now, I am sending you so much love. I hope that you find the strength to pick yourself up. I pray that God restores your strength. I hope that you have a day as beautiful as you are. And remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you are beautiful. Until next time. Goodbye.